Every single day, it seems like a new extraordinary person just plopped in on the face of the planet. And I want to tell you that this is not unique. This happens every single generation, every single day, all the time. And I want to tell you, this is the natural human progression of what makes us extraordinary. Let's talk about how exactly we normalized all the extraordinary people that we see today. Number one, social media gives absolutely everybody a platform. So even if you're not extraordinary, like that one guy, Hub's Life, who had a very, very normal life with a very, very normal job, that guy wasn't extraordinary at all. But what was extraordinary about him was the relentless documentation of this supposed boring life. Now, as we know, this man eventually kind of changed his content, his style, his idea of what he felt was important of sharing. This is not abnormal. This is absolutely a normal progression of the extraordinary. People change, people constantly adapt, but we normally don't hear about extraordinary people until they do something extraordinary. But now we hear about new people all the time, and that is social media. Social media does that. It shows us the new up and coming or the new innovative person in whatever field, whatever era, whatever genre, doesn't matter. We now see a new extraordinary person pop up every single day. This is not abnormal. This is super normal. Extraordinary people do exist in our everyday life, but we don't hear about them until they do something worth talking about. But with social media, that's changed. America's cultural infatuation with extraordinary people goes a bit deeper than other countries. Now, I would say something very similar to America would most likely be like Korea with their infatuation with the K-pop stars, and America's quite frankly caught up to that certain infatuation that we have with those same K-pop stars. Our cultural infatuation is nothing unique with what we perceive and the person that we attribute value to. It's quite frankly very normal. It's painfully normal in our society to think of celebrities as abnormal, extraordinary people. What are they celebrities for? We don't really know, but we have a sense of infatuation with these individuals. Now, someone, particularly like Kim Kardashian, there's nothing truly remarkable about that woman, or was there remarkable about that woman? The only thing that was really of note of her was what she did in her free time and who documented it, right? That's what was abnormal about Mrs. Kardashian, yet there is still this cultural sense of infatuation we have with that woman. And we have that same cultural infatuation with billionaires, celebrities, athletes, geniuses, killers, etc. Anyone we perceive as kind of strange or have done something kind of off kilter now has a platform to share that to the world. We've always had an infatuation, but now we have access to everyone all the time. But when I mean that they're not normal, is that this is the natural human progression of society. The geniuses of today are now the trailblazers or pioneers of yesterday. This is normal. This happens all the time. People make new scientific discoveries. People constantly change and shift their value system. People find that, yes, this man was a genius for his time, but not a genius, not the smartest person of all time. There's always someone smarter. There's always someone more athletic. So the progression happens because of adaptability. We as humans are remarkably good at adapting to our circumstances and adapting to our environment. So culturally, this would be no different. We are remarkably well at adapting. For example, our school curriculums, we've advanced very, very far. As to people's dismay of doing pre-calculus in like 8th, 9th grade, we are now able to do that. That is something that's unique. That's never happened in any prior generation. Doing something like that, exposing children to such advanced levels of math, was unheard of. in like the 1800s or even the early 1900s. Exposing children to such advanced level topics was very rare, and we didn't even have mandatory school, I believe, until the 1930s for children, because most children were working. We have very, very oftentimes just accepted that kids go to work, but now our society has changed, and because kids now learn at a faster rate than they did before, and we've built on generations of prior people, our school curriculum is far more advanced than it used to be. Not only that, kicking distance in American football has increased exponentially, something to the rate that we've never seen before. Kicking distance is at the longest it's ever been. And do you know why? It's only because we let kids kick for longer distances. That's the only thing different that we did. We didn't just magically start injecting kids with some crazy stuff. Kids just started kicking longer because people thought, hey, they could probably kick longer. And you know what happened? They did. So the progression. So for example, a high school kid kicking a 50-yard field goal. Impressive. In the 1930s, you would not ever see a professional player doing that. But what was exceptional for that time is no longer exceptional for this time. That's what I'm trying to get at. The exceptionalism comes during its own time period. But as we evolve as people and as a society, we see that the exceptionalism was really just a perceived lack of ability from those prior generations. Because you wouldn't normally see a person kicking a 50-yard field goal in a real NFL game back then. It just wasn't something that happened. But we've allowed kids to start trying, and not just trying, but absolutely crushing this and accomplishing these goals. So ever since then, we've allowed ultra marathon attendance to get to peak levels, and it's attributed mainly to one man and one man only. That man being David Goggins. He's influenced a generation of people to believe that they can run 100+ miles in one day, in a few hours. That one extraordinary man has risen ultramarathon attendance, I believe, by almost 200% year over year for the last 5 years. Being extraordinary is unique to its time period, but overall, it's the natural progression of the human race. If you're not trying to be extraordinary, that's okay, but you are not living up to your potential. Specialize in something, get really good at something, and then get noticed. That is the natural progression of humans. That is our natural instinct. We want to be better. We want to grow. We want to be stronger, smarter, faster, happier. We want to do things that help us. So extraordinary people popping up out of the woodwork, nothing unique. Now they just all have a platform to show you how extraordinary they truly are, even before they change the world. Like we just saw, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See ya.